Venus enters the solar sign of Leo on Monday, August 25th. Here she will stay until September 19th, encouraging bold and dramatic self-expression, childlike playfulness, and nothing less than 100% adoration. Let's take a closer look and break it down for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, predictive, locational, and electional astrology. For those of you new here, welcome. If you enjoy my work, please leave me a like, a comment, subscribe, press that notification bell. Check out my other videos or say thank you by buying me a tea, a coffee, a drink, a present, whatever your heart desires. Thank you so much for that. For those of you seeking more, if you feel like astrology is something you cannot get enough, register for my Natal Astrology Blueprint of the Soul course. It begins in September. So close, September 6th, and it's going to last 3 months, introducing you to the planets, houses, signs, aspects, helping you understand the strength of a planet, the phase of the planet, so much more, giving you the ability to actually use astrology to your advantage, to strengthen you and make you the hero of your story. Register on my website. You can also book a personal consultation on there. There are natal chart readings, which are more general and can answer questions about your life, your karma, your past, and your future. Predictive readings, year ahead or solar return. Solar return is best done around your birthday. I also do relationship consultations, locational astrology, which helps you see the best place in the world for your specific chart, and electional astrology that is here to help you elect the best moment for your business, for your marriage, things like that. So a lot of offers on my website, including candles and oils. I work with astrology in a proactive way, capturing the most benevolent, the juiciest moments, just like a juicy apple from a branch. For example, this is my Venus in Libra 3 candle. It captures the goddess of love in her sign of rulership. Very playful, very charming, really good for relationships. So highly recommend this for anyone who struggles in love or with friendships, or even in business, in attracting the things you desire. It can bring acclaim, love, accord, and good fortune, and it smells really deliciously. I also have Venus in Libra 3 oil. This one actually is my, I don't know if you can see it, maybe. This one is my favorite smell out of everything I've made. It definitely encapsulates the nature of Venus. Venus in Libra 3 candles and oils are perfect for anyone born with their Venus retrograde. If your natal Venus is in Aries, Scorpio, or Virgo, signs of detriment and fall. If it is in the 6th, 8th, or 12th house, and if it conjoins, squares, opposes Saturn, Pluto, or Chiron. This is my choice for you. So let's talk about Venus in Leo. Like I said, it begins on Monday, August 25th, and it lasts until September 19th. Venus is the planet of love, connection, attraction. She represents the experience of having a good day, when everything is pleasant, your interactions are joyful, and you're surrounded by people you are in love with, or happy with, or connected with. Whenever Venus is in her domicile, which is Libra and Taurus, she is considered to be the queen in her castle, free to do whatever she wants. When she is in other zodiac signs, she's like an honored guest in the temple of the planet ruling that sign, right? So thinking of Leo is ruled by the sun. Leo is the sign where we shine our light, we shine our confidence, we step into the spotlight, we seek recognition, we're bold, we're funny, we're charming, we're childlike on some levels. So when Venus is in Leo, she seeks to shine and to be seen. So when we're thinking about love and relationships, right, we're moving from Venus in Cancer, which is all about emotional exchanges and nurturance and show me your vulnerable heart, to now wanting to be adored, nothing less than absolute adoration, right? We want attention, we want compliments, we want to talk about ourselves, we want our partners to talk about us, right? There is this desire for star power. Think of Madonna. Madonna has Venus in Leo, and I think that's like such an obvious Venus in Leo. We might think of our style. There might be a change to our style and how we dress during this period. And if it's your Venus, happy Venus return. I'd be curious to hear whether this resonates and how you think your Venus in Leo is showing up for you. So like Venus being the planet of love and attraction comes into the temple of the sun, and she's given this warmth, right? And brightness. Like she learns to express herself in a dramatic way. So we may shine more. We may post more selfies, more stories, talk about ourselves a little bit more, dress boldly, be more visible, right? Take better care of our hair, or just take care of our hair in general, right? Creatively, this could be quite an inspired period of time when you are, making more content, putting yourself out there, feeling inspired and getting benefits from it, because Venus generally would want to help you. So she would help you if you take those risks, those solar opportunities to be more visible. However, every sign has its shadow side, right? So we may struggle with being too prideful, too full of ourselves, too arrogant, right? Rejecting people based on the fact that they didn't give us attention in the way we wanted, instead of maybe explaining it to them. This sort of desire for perfection and shallowness in terms of our image and our health, like not so much health, but our image and our youth, and being like the evil queen in the Snow White, right? Sort of clinging onto beauty and youth and sort of this glory that maybe you once had, but it's time to transform it. Some of the aspects, important dates to note: August 25th, Venus will trine Saturn, which is really good for commitment and working seriously towards your creative and relationship goals, business negotiations, talking about the future, planning a wedding or an engagement party or anything like that. On the 26th of August, Venus sextiles Uranus and trines Neptune, which is playful, open-minded, experimentation in love and art, creativity, sensitivity, compassion, pleasant experience, a nice party. However, immediately after that, on August 27th, 4 days before, 4 days after, Venus will oppose Pluto. And that could be the time this ego battles come up, right? Power struggles. I want for things to be a certain way. I want this, and I'm not willing to compromise. And then Pluto coming in to remind you of reality, to help you transform, to help you shed some of your stiff expectations, right? And then another interesting date is September 15th, and that is when Venus sextiles Mars, which is a beautiful aspect between the goddess of love and the planet of action, the planet of affection, Venus, and the planet of sexuality, Mars. So it could be romantic. It could be, again, good for like leadership and inspiration, taking action, finding support of other people. So let's run through all 12 zodiac signs to see where the blessings of Venus might show up for you the most. Before we dive in, my class begins very soon. If you're ready to improve your life, if you're ready to bring the language of astrology into your life, join and welcome this empowered version of yourself that actually looks at the moon and knows the sign of the moon and the phase of the moon just by looking at it. And of course, there is a lot more than just looking at the moon, but do join us. And for more opportunities to work with me, you can also book a reading. So let's start by looking at Aries rising. Venus is entering your 5th house. She's in her joy here. She's playful. She's empowered. This is really great for making art, for going on dates. You may be just naturally going about your life and having fun and just going dancing and looking beautiful, and just that might be really magnetic and attractive to other people. Of course, there is a little bit of friction, especially in the first 6 days of this transit, as Venus in your 5th house opposes Pluto in the 11th, and certain tensions between your desire and what your friends desire might pop up. maybe some disagreements between your romantic partner and your vision of the future, your goals and their goals. Generally, this transit is quite lovely for hanging out with children, maybe feeling childlike wonder and joy. But around the 27th of August, when Venus opposes Pluto, there might be a bit of tension between maybe what you want to do and what having a child demands of you, or just other kind of power struggles. So move slowly and carefully, and later in the month, later in this transit, in September especially, enjoy the more free Venus to do her own thing. Definitely great for those single and in relationships, for dating, making art, even honestly just doing anything that is fun to you. It might be hiking, it might be sculpture, it might be spending time watching sci-fi movies, whatever it is, curling up with a book, right? Having a good time. Could also be a lovely period to do your hair, get some kind of fun haircut. Let me know how this resonates and register for my natal astrology course, which begins in September, or book a reading on my website. For the beautiful Taurus rising, Venus is entering your 4th house, the domain of home, family, living situation. This is nice for improving your living situation in whatever shape and form. Maybe you're buying art, maybe you're changing the drapes, maybe you're painting the walls, making some kind of home improvement, taking care of home improvement projects. There may be more joy as well found in spending time with family. You're maybe kind of feeling nostalgic and looking back at childhood, and even feeling inspired to bring something from the past back into your life. Having dates that are cozy, that are maybe indoors, is more likely, as well as being playful and dramatic with your family, right? This is less about an obvious, visible way, but more so about with people you love. Venus will oppose Pluto in your 10th house on August 27th, 3 days before, 3 days after. So there might be some power struggles, some friction between your home life and your professional life, your desire to spend time with family versus your boss demanding you to work on the weekend. So there might be tension that you are encouraged to address. If you're seeking more, book a reading on my website or register for my natal astrology course. It begins in September, and it can improve your life, bring self-empowerment and confidence, and teach you how to use astrology in a proactive way. If you are a Gemini rising, Venus is entering your 3rd house, the house of communication, skills, hobbies, siblings, everyday life, community. So Venus likes to bring joy, right? Here she will encourage you to go out, to explore your neighborhood, to see siblings or to hang out with neighbors, to explore local coffee shops or bars or whatever it might be that you enjoy. You are a lot more charming in your speech during this period, and might find yourself problem solving and negotiating and helping people. Creatively, this could be quite inspired because 3rd house is connected to your business and your skills and hobbies. And with Venus here, you might decide to take up singing or acting or dancing or doing something else that is really creative. On August 27th, Venus will oppose Pluto in your 9th house. So while generally this transit is quite lovely for hanging out with siblings and neighbors, early on, the first 6 days or so, there might be some power struggles, some disagreements, tensions around your political views or your spiritual views, or some other ideas, maybe even logistical issues in terms of your freedom to do what you want to do, and maybe some difficult teachers. All of that is, of course, an opportunity to transform, get closer to the true you. Speaking of getting closer to the true you, register for my natal astrology course. It begins in September. And in 3 months, you will learn to read natal charts. And as a result, will feel more empowered and self-aware, improving your relationships in the process. You can also book a personal reading on my website. If you are a Cancer rising, Venus is entering your 2nd house of money and values. This could be beneficial financially, right? This could bring a bonus, some kind of return on investment. It might encourage you to invest in art, and chances are whatever you invest into under this Venusian energy will will glow, but will also grow in value and bring you more money back. You're also more inclined to spend money, right? If you're a man, you might be more inclined to spend on your woman, your significant other. If you're a woman, maybe you're spending on beauty, on art, on things like that. And as a result, early in the month, there may be some financial squabbles and power struggles around values and priorities, as Venus opposes Pluto on August 27th. So be careful, be honest and clear about what you want. Don't let other people put you down, right? Stand your ground, but make sure you're not too stuck and stubborn, because sometimes Venus and Leo can be too prideful. Too proud, or prideful. Maybe both are correct. So yeah, do not get attached to the way things were or some shallow ideas of things. For more, book a reading on my website or register for my natal astrology course. We start on September 6th, and in 3 months we will learn how to read charts, we will form close relationships, and we will learn how to be better versions of ourselves. If you are the beautiful Leo rising, Venus is entering your first house. How lovely. You get to wear the Venusian charming energy for the next 3 weeks or so. Maybe you're born with this Venus and you already know what it's like, but it is the time when you're extra charming, you're getting more compliments, you're taking care of your hair, maybe changing your hairstyle to make it bigger, louder, more colorful. Others are drawn to you. You are Leo rising, so generally they're quite drawn to your light, but you may notice that this is emphasized even more. And it's really good for manifesting whatever it is you desire. You may also notice that you're feeling more creative and inspired. On the 27th of August, 3 days before, 3 days after, Venus will oppose Pluto in your 7th house. So early on, you may deal with some power struggles and perhaps somebody else stifling your light, or some kind of tension between your desires, your search for spotlight, and maybe what's happening in relationship, or just your relationship with other people feeling somehow tense. Look for ways to be flexible, to transform, to stand your ground, but watch out for being too stubborn. Fixed signs sometimes can err on the side of my way or the highway. Don't do that. For more, register for my natal astrology course. It begins on September 6th, so you still have a few days, and book a personal reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. If you are a Virgo rising, Venus is entering your 12th house, your private sector. So this might mean that you are getting creative behind the scenes. Maybe you're working on something, but you're not yet telling people about. Romantic life shifts behind the scenes, which could mean traveling with your significant other, going to a remote cabin, going to some kind of faraway place. On the negative, Venus in the 10th sometimes inspires us to seek drama. It makes us feel like drama is the norm. So do be very careful and discerning in terms of who you're letting into your life, who you're getting close to. On August 27th, 3 days before, 3 days after, Venus will oppose Pluto. So some power struggles are possible. Tension between your physical health and your mental health, your desire to create an escape, and your professional responsibilities. Could be a great time to transform something in your life, right? Let outdated patterns go and connect to the new you. For help with that, you can register for my natal astrology course and embrace astrology fully. Learn how to read your chart and other people's charts. Get closer to the true you and become more confident and self-aware, in the process improving your relationships as well. You can never go wrong with more astrology. Register on my website or book a personal reading on there. For the beautiful Libra rising, Venus is entering your 11th house. So here you're becoming more social, you're becoming more outgoing, you're shining in the public environment. Maybe there's more parties to attend, more people to see, more conferences to speak at, more opportunities to speak online on social media, right? If you're a content creator, like myself, maybe you're doing more lives, right? Maybe there is some kind of reward coming for the hard work that you've done. Because Venus is always connected to relationships, your social life may lead to a development in your romantic life. You meet someone at a friend's wedding, or you partner up with a friend and start a business. Being visibly creative is also likely here, and kind of leaning on your network for support and benefiting through your network. Watch out around August 27th, 3 days before, 3 days after, as Venus opposes Pluto. There is some tension between your social life and your personal life, your goals at large and your romantic life, or maybe your life of your child. Something might be pulling you in the opposite directions as a result, and as a result there might be some tensions and power struggles. Be mindful, watch out that you don't say things you later regret, and look at this as a chance to shed something old and transform something. For the beautiful, before also register for my natal astrology course and book a personal reading at anastasiadasastrology.com. For Scorpio rising, Venus is entering your 10th house, and here you have benefits in the public life. So professionally, Venus really inspires you to do work that you enjoy. It gives you creative opportunities, it gives you social opportunities, it gives you opportunities to maybe express yourself through an interesting PowerPoint, or build harmonious relationships with bosses so that you can grow your career. Doing sort of professional networking, it's a great time for that. 10th house is not always about career in a traditional sense, but it could be about what you want to be known for. And so discovering new passions, new interests is likely here. But I do like this for kind of relationships with bosses. Venus rules your 7th house of relationships, so if you're single, you might also be meeting someone through your job around this period of time. August 27th, I want to flag that as a difficult day, 3 days before, 3 days after, as Venus opposes Pluto in your 4th house, and power struggles, tensions, conflicts between your professional life and your home life might distract you and kind of affect your peace of mind. So be ready to balance things, be ready to transform something. Watch out for getting too self-righteous and too focused on your ego, right? Because perhaps there are some ways in which you can avoid the drama. If you're seeking more, register for my natal astrology course or book a personal reading on my website. If you are a Sagittarius rising, Venus is entering your 9th house, and you're inspired to travel, to study, to maybe learn a foreign language, or learn about love and sex and sexuality, because Venus is connected to those things. You're maybe going on a trip and meeting someone while you're on a trip, if it's a long distance relationship, or you just meet someone while out wandering the streets of Paris, for example. You run into someone beautiful or handsome and you're like, oh, this is magical. Enjoying your connections with foreigners, opening yourself up to new philosophies, new perspectives, new ideas of the world, and just generally seeing the world as a friendlier place. You may also get support from teachers, mentors, gurus, and guides at this point. Watch out for ideological debates, tensions, logistical issues, conflicts with siblings and neighbors around August 27th, 3 days before, 3 days after, as Venus opposes Pluto. Could be a bit rough, but if you stay high-minded, if you avoid being too stubborn and prideful, it could be a great opportunity to perhaps realize something about a relationship or about yourself and let an old pattern go. If you're seeking more astrology, register for my Natal Astrology Blueprint of the Soul course. It begins very soon, September 6th, and in 3 months you will learn how to read natal charts for yourself and for others and live life full of empowerment and meaning. You can also book a personal reading at anastasiadasastrology.com. For my lovely Capricorn risings, Venus is entering your 8th house. Here she brings opportunities to collaborate with other people. Venus in the 8th is often really good for creative partnerships, right? Like you join forces, energies together with someone else, and you come out with something greater than two separate people could have come up with. There's great benefits financially, good benefits financially at this time. Your student loans may be forgiven, or you get some kind of bonus or a favor or a present. Your partner may get promotion and a raise potentially, or an inheritance, and you may be benefiting through your relationships with other people. Power struggles and some conflicts around money are likely on August 27th, 3 days before, 3 days after, as Venus opposes Pluto. Maybe it's you and your spending patterns versus your partner and their spending patterns, what you want to invest to versus what they want to invest to, or just some deeper ideological disagreements that could be really about anything, but maybe you realize that something is quite important to you, and maybe you don't agree with them and you need to work through it. If you're seeking more, book a reading on my website and register for my natal astrology course. It begins on September 6th, very, very close. If you are an Aquarius rising, Venus is entering your 7th house. This is beautiful for relationships of all kinds. Romantically, if you're single, good for attracting someone, so start dating if that's what you want. If you're in a relationship, you're getting along better, you're feeling closer to your partner, you're feeling inspired, negotiating contracts, agreements, business deals, all of that is quite likely to go well. Attracting a partner who's very Venusian, charming, diplomatic, a good communicator is likely. The only date that I would really warn you to be careful around is August 27th, 2 days before, 2 days after, as Venus opposes Pluto. And power struggles in relationships may get revealed. There might be some, even jealousy on your part or on their part. Fears, obsessive thoughts, insecurities will be very telling and can help you realize something that perhaps is time to release and transform. Speaking of releasing and transforming, register for my Natal Astrology Blueprint of the Soul course to let go of the old version of yourself and embrace more self-aware, more empowered, more astrologically savvy you. You can do that on my website. You can also book a personal reading on there. Last but not least, Pisces rising with Venus entering your 6th house. 6th house is the domain of work, health, and service. So Venus here has the power to improve things professionally. You're noticing that you're liking your colleagues more, you're going out with them, you're maybe even starting to date someone you met through work. Health, Venus will encourage you to take care of health, but do so in a Venusian way. So taking a dance class or exercising with your partner, doing things that are kind of have this social element or creative element to them is likely. You may take more pleasure in giving back in terms of volunteering, and might also feel like taking care of people in your life through these very practical gestures of love, right? Like helping them file documents, helping them schedule doctor's appointments, fixing their car or taking their car to be serviced, things like that. Watch out for August 27th, 3 days before, 3 days after, as Venus opposes Pluto in the 12th house. There might be some power struggles. There might be... It's an interesting one because I think for the next 18, 20 years with Pluto in your 12th, every time Pluto gets aspected, you're getting this lovely opportunity to realize how your mental health and your physical health are connected, and make maybe slow, incremental changes to your mental health and physical health. And so while for some reason this opposition can be stressful because perhaps it reveals something you haven't fully addressed yet, it can also be deeply healing. Let's say you're struggling with some frustrating event or a person or even negative thoughts. Just bring awareness to it and be ready to let it go. And if you want to take this spiritual energy even further, register for my Natal Astrology course. It begins few days left, right, on September 6th, and it lasts 3 months, and I will teach you to read charts and to understand planets, signs, houses, aspects, and the magic that is part of me and part of you and the universe that we're all made of, stardust. Register on my website. You can also book a personal reading on there. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you're looking forward to Venus and Leo. Any thoughts, comments, feedback, do let me know, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.